Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another NXT After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. I'm Kathy Kelly. Joining me, as always,
the hobo.
And the Mark.
And you don't have headsets on.
I don't have headsets on.
Put your cans on.
Join the club.
Who needs ears when you have eyeballs?
And we're back.
Ears are also good, though. Ears are good.
True hobo and champion
I'm
of...
a champion. Hollywood Heritage. I'm shit of a champion. Like a real thing.
You're like a real champion.
Like a real
You're
champion.
a real boy.
I'm a real boy.
It's great.
I'm a real man's what I am.
Sitting next to him, the real Mark Donica.
I'm kind of a wooden puppet. I'm like August on Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time.
I'm that weird kind of...
We're not covering that.
Are you going to turn into a 9-year-old boy again? What?
Here's hoping. I don't know what. Like,
Where do you go with that?
nowhere.
Were you happy at 9? Prepubescent and everything?
It's about the same height. What
Wow.
a show tonight. How about that?
Great show.
Awkward kid.
I have a surprise, though.
What?
Under the table.
Well, clearly.
I made pumpkin chocolate chip cookies.
Where the hell did those come from?
From under the table.
It literally
Slash
how
my
long have they
kitchen.
been there?
Yeah, because I just did it after
didn't
show,
see
and I
you.
didn't smell anything.
I didn't see you come in with those.
I hid the plate behind my back and the bag of cookies in my purse.
There's a bag.
sneaky.
There's more.
There's more.
There's more. So if we finish this, we can get more.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to talk about that. Do you want to start off the show?
Yeah,
Maybe
let's talk about this show.
Yeah.
So, first match of the night, we have Tyler Breeze and Mojo Rowley.
I'm trying to be...
I'll have it after.
Fine,
Oh, wait.
So, Breeze, I know you're gonna want to talk about Breeze. This is the hard part because you're eating cookies.
Tyler Breeze was awesome today.
And how are those cookies?
They're good.
They're good. Excellent.
So Tyler Breeze, Mojo Rowley. Breeze, of course, was walking to the ring a couple weeks ago. Rowley bumped into him when he was leaving, thus a feud. Mm-hmm. That's all it takes.
Hey, man, that is all it takes.
know.
It's all it takes in a bar. It's all it takes in an arena. Guy bumps into you and posts you. You know what? That's enough to start a fight right there.
That's what I do when guys bump into me at bars.
Just throw him into a post.
Put him in a ring and punch him. What? I don't know
It's
where
much
we're going.
easier to
Kathy
post
Kelly
them. Because
special.
then you gotta grab the guy and go and find a wrestling ring, and they're not always just right there. You know, this isn't Mexico.
You got to do
A
the
wrestling
classic
ring
tussle.
isn't just
You got to
there.
toss him up on the bar and then drag him across the bar and then throw him off.
Yeah, bar cleaner right there.
Yeah, well, there you go. Clean off the bar. You're doing the guy a service.
Who just wanted to do one of those? Never got a chance.
We'll write it into
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
That works. So this feud, relatively new, but Breeze ends up using, I forget, an armbar?
Fujiwara armbar.
Yeah.
And the ref calls it because Mojo doesn't tap, so...
I mean, the ref. This was weird. The ref made a call, whether it was the right call or not.
It was very quick into the submission moves,
Well,
seemed like.
Because I mean, there's a couple of ways you can look at it. You can look at it at the ref went. Why did the ref think that Mojo wasn't gonna tap, or why did the ref think that Breeze wasn't gonna let go?
Because Breeze was looking crazy tonight.
That's what everybody was saying, but he looked like he had
looked
the same.
aggressive.
Yeah, he had the
Right.
same
He looked
aggression that
aggressive.
he's had for the past couple of months.
Yeah.
So, what about Mojo made the ref think like I've got to help this guy's best interests and call this match.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was
Especially weird for the first match.
They called back the injury, Mojo taking the post to his right shoulder, and then Breeze working on that shoulder in short order, and then putting him in a serious. It's a legitimate hold. But yeah, it's hard to believe a ref would just call it like that when there are so many other holds in so many other matches, and the ref doesn't just call those.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What makes a match?
There was a little bit of a disconnect.
There was, but also what makes somebody working, like when we watched Charlotte and Bayley. Bayley was working on the legs the whole match.
You mean Charlotte?
Sorry, Charlotte was working on Bayley's legs the whole match, and just to set up for that one hold, why didn't the ref go, oh, well, she's been working on the legs the whole time, call it? Like, this one thing sort of sets a precedent of, well, why didn't you do that before? Or why haven't you done that since? Because remember that one time when they did instant replay on a pay-per-view?
Yeah.
They only did it once, where, like, the ref got pulled out, or like, the foot was on the rope, and they called back to it.
They reviewed it. The call,
but they haven't done it since.
On monitors.
It makes more sense for other submission holds where someone's about to pass out or something like that,
Right,
not necessarily
if you knock a
just
man
an
out,
arm.
If you cut off the air
Yeah.
to his, or the blood flow to his brain, and he's out, then
the ref needs to call it.
Obviously, the man is unconscious.
But if the guy wants his arm broken,
sometimes you
to
gotta
win a
let him-
match.
I mean, even in the UFC, if you're seeing a guy in a serious hold and he doesn't want to tap, and the man keeps putting pressure on it until the elbow is dislocated, and then he taps, that is the man's choice. It is not the ref's choice to call the match before he is tapped.
Yeah, this whole thing was weird. Though, have to give it to Mojo. He went right through his mist during his entrance today. He didn't go off to the side, and he don't go to this side. He had this. The shot was centered, and he came right through.
Like he exploded through it, like he should be.
Yeah.
He's an explosion of energy.
So like the hype's over there, and now it's over there. All right, now the hype's coming.
Hype's coming right at you, and that's pretty much how the match went. Mojo was up the entire time. Breeze kept trying to throw them cheap shots, and Mojo was having none of it.
No.
He was not messing around.
Yeah, this was a weird match.
So-
Gotta give it to my boy Breeze though.
seems like, well, he won.
That's why I gotta get him on, right?
But
Want some pumpkin?
I think we're gonna
I made them for you.
Wait a minute.
continuation of this feud.
Probably not.
Really?
I don't think so. The way that they sold this for Mojo is that he'll get a couple of weeks off at least to kind of heal, and maybe we'll see him back. It feels like if Mojo was going to win, he would have won this, so that he can start being on the uptick.
Well, who do you think Breeze will be paired up with if not Mojo?
Anybody.
Who? Name someone.
Somebody on the main roster.
Oh, that's not a name. That's
Xavier
just a general.
Woods.
Oh.
The super athletic
But
friends.
didn't they have what? They did that.
Just throwing out ideas now.
Yeah, you told me to give you names. I gave you some.
Why don't you name a name, Kathy Kelly? Name names!
Name names. I was the one asking the question. I asked first. You guys answer first.
I did answer. Now it's your turn to answer.
As soon as you got the answers, I changed the questions.
Roddy Piper.
In case you didn't know. Yes.
I'd still like to see rematches between him and CJ Parker eventually.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Who else? It would be interesting, him versus Baron Corbin eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually, not now.
But we need to see Corbin sort of evolve his style, because right now it's just all right, we're
So
good.
you want to see
We're
a main
done here.
roster person?
Yeah, I would like to see him start to transition, because it seems like they're already shopping him around to the main crowd by doing the pre-shows on SmackDown. And I think some Raws, or is it just SmackDown?
Some Raws, I think.
Yeah, either way, he's doing dark matches around the country, so that they're trying to test him, and they've been testing the Ascension in the same way, and Sami Zayn and Adrian Neville in the same way.
From what I've heard, ironically enough, that you said Xavier Woods, I think that he was one of the ones who helped get Tyler Breeze recognition from the producers at WWE, because he was like, Xavier Woods is a genius, and was
Probably
like helping cut
certified,
together promos for other people. Tyler Breeze was one of them.
Makes sense.
So
It's just Breeze is in such a unique spot and a difficult spot at that. He's a bad guy who everybody loves. Now, do you put him against another bad guy so that there's sort of a weird reaction, or do you put him against a good guy so that the good guy can get booed? It's nothing clean about this.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do?
What do you do? Well, let's talk about the next thing from tonight.
Bada bing.
Big Cass is taping Enzo Amore at the Performance Center with his phone. Enzo asks Regal if they can get Regal to look at Carmella. Because, of course, as we've seen the past couple weeks, they got Carmella fired from her job as a hairdresser, and now she wants to be in the WWE.
Or at least NXT.
Or NXT.
She just wanted
which
a
is part
job.
of
She
WWE.
just needs a new job.
She
Just
does
promise me
need
my
a
job.
job.
Get me a job.
She's got to wear the Brutus beefcake gear, right? Because she was a hairdresser.
Aren't you
And
gonna
he was
come
a
with the
barber.
clippers?
Yeah, you gotta go all the way.
The zebra print and the mullet?
Yes,
I wonder if she does Enzo's hair.
Probably.
Yeah.
somebody does. Somebody with a cruel sense of humor or a very artistic touch does Enzo's hair.
Carmella looks very artistic. That was bad.
Where are
She looks artistic. Like, that would be like an artistic liberty that she would take on his head.
I think she looks like a painting, but that's as far as I'm gonna go. She's like
Is that
the
like-
Mona Lisa. She's beautiful.
She is beautiful.
Was that like the little girl at the end of Toy Story 2? Who's like, you'll like her. She's an artist. That's a very specific reference. And I hope
That
those of
I'm
you-
sure everyone
Hey,
at home got.
No,
Everyone's gonna get it.
we're in a cartoon mood with the whole Hey Arnold, like that
Yeah.
that whole thing. We're here, so
Stoop kid.
yeah. More like Hey Arnold, because you shouldn't have left
Hey,
the stoop.
Arnold.
How you doing?
So, yeah, I mean, these backstage segments are great.
Yeah.
We
I'm gonna
just
tell
want
you not
more.
to post that one, but you're gonna post it anyway.
More and more and more.
Yeah.
Rita liked what he saw, though. So
Bring her
she's
next
gonna
Who
Thursday.
say-
wouldn't? He has eyeballs.
Thursday.
Well, yeah. But, did your eyeballs notice that her opponent, Carmella's opponent in the ring tonight, was wearing headgear?
I did see that. Who was it?
I can't tell they were wearing headgear.
Oh, well, you can still see
figure
her
it
face.
could have been Sarah Del Rey.
Oh.
Probably.
Could have been Sarah. Kind of
You don't
really
know.
hard to tell.
Full
But
headgear.
that's a new initiative going on down there. Same thing.
Going down on
different
there.
words. They're having people wear headgear to avoid head injuries in training.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So that is the explanation for that.
Why wasn't Carmella?
Well, she didn't
Gotta see
take a
that
bump, did
face.
she?
How you doing?
Gotta see that face. Hideo Itami versus one half of the Ascension.
Yeah, and him just kind of coming up by
Victor.
himself. That was just like is
Weird.
That it? Is that all we get? All right.
And then I think they said one half of the Ascension like 6 times.
Weird seeing him as one half of the Ascension, a singles match, something you don't see very often from one half of the Ascension. Victor, who was one half of the Ascension.
Well, it certainly didn't change a whole hell of a lot.
No.
He didn't show up as weak as being one half of an opponent. He was almost more than Itami could handle.
Yeah.
Almost.
What are you guys thinking of this booking? Like,
It works. Like
You do?
it all makes sense.
you don't think that it makes either of them look weak at all?
No, you've got two strong opponents going ahead, and
I mean, prior to this, Itami was kind of taking both of them on at the same time, and
well, I mean,
Was it
this match was weird. It had all of the right beats. There's a lot of
they introduced
pretty moves.
Funaki finally.
Yeah, Funaki finally appeared.
Or, I mean, we've talked about him before, but
Yeah.
hadn't
But
seen him yet.
in ring.
Yes.
Yeah, he finally showed up as a manager.
Yes.
As a liaison.
person.
Yeah. Not just an imaginary person backstage, but with the style of the
Spooky.
match tonight, it was there was some speed and then some slow, and so like it changed speeds frequently, but at the same time the crowd was just kind of watching. It wasn't it's actually similar to a Japanese crowd.
Yeah.
The Japanese crowd doesn't cheer every second. They don't start chants. They sit there and they watch the match and they enjoy it. And I don't know if it was sort of a way of people trying to take in his style more, or if people aren't quite getting it, or just kind of sitting on their hands going, well, where's Connor?
There's certainly an element of that, seeing as there was only one half of the Ascension tonight in the ring for the majority of the match. But I think people want to see more from Itami, because they had him debut, and
it's built up that he is the best in Japan.
And he debuted, and he hasn't really. Is this his like first one-on-one match, like officially?
I believe so.
Yeah. I think he had a match that wasn't a match last week.
No,
and then,
he had a match the first after, and then the Ascension got involved.
Against whom? It was Gabriel. Justin Gabriel.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
You're right.
Okay. So this was his second match, and in this match, he took a lot of offense. Victor had his number tonight. Was just beating him down. Now, when a new guy debuts, you want to show people the strong stuff, like with Baron Corbin. Perfect example. Guy just shows up, killing people. 2 moves, dead. People want to see that from Itami. You got a guy coming from Japan. He's the best ever. They're spilling him.
So would it have been better to pair him up against a guy that he could just demolish, or is it better to put him in a, booking against the most powerful tag team at NXT?
I think if you put, I like a slow build myself. I'm always a fan of the slow build. I think a guy should work his way up. And if you put somebody who's supposed to be on top against somebody else who's on top, it doesn't always work out, because you make the strong guy look weak, and you make the new guy, either he doesn't get quite where he needs to go, or he ends up sort of tilting the scales in a negative fashion. I think you could have had this match and had Itami work a lot more offense, and then Victor sort of being on the ropes, so to speak, about to lose. Connor shows up with Funaki and throws the whole game off for Itami, who either does or does not get the win.
Yeah. So, like you said, we did see Connor eventually when he brought Funaki out to the ramp, and then is just attacking Funaki. Although this does distract Hideo Itami for a second, he still ends up getting the win.
With a beautiful kick.
Yeah.
Go,
Yeah.
Lord Almighty.
Just front kick.
And then Connor comes to the ring and starts going at Itami. So
Yeah,
They tie him up in the ropes, and
and then
it's all downhill from there.
I mean, Hideo's bleeding from the mouth. They do the fall of man to Funaki while Hideo has to watch. And yeah.
Yeah. That fall of man doesn't get any easier to watch, especially especially for Funaki, who hasn't, like, I know he's a trainer,
Yes,
like he has a school
in Texas.
Yeah, so
Got a buddy there.
So it's not like he's like not ready for that, but he's not an active wrestler, so it still looks devastating, and people still get that. You heard people chanting "Indeed" in the crowd, which is a super old reference that you know that the fans were there. So you get that feeling of, oh, don't do that to Funaki.
Right. I mean, like you said, he's not an active wrestler to the participants in the audience who are part of this show. So they definitely have something to fear for Funaki, who's not active. It's like bringing in a manager or anybody else and giving him this finisher, and it's a finisher. I mean, Funaki landed on the back of his head, like almost on the top of his head. It's a hell of a devastating maneuver.
Yeah. It looked devastating.
It's a devastating maneuver.
Oh, is that why?
That's why.
It's devastating.
Wow.
The maneuver is devastating.
Yeah.
So it looked devastating.
Devastating
maneuver.
Indeed.
So moving forward with this pairing, are we going to see Funaki get more involved? Or is he just going to be this mentor that Hideo has to protect all the time?
It's hard to say. I mean, I can't imagine Funaki showing up anytime soon after receiving that level of assault. So, I think Itami's got to bring in somebody else.
Okay.
Whom that maybe I do not know.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea?
Seriously. I think they brought Funaki on to give everybody that, hey, look, it's Funaki, and then he got beat up. So I think they gave everybody that moment, because if you follow Itami on Twitter, it's me and my buddy Funaki are going to IHOP again. You know, that type of a thing. So.
That is a real tweet.
No, that's real. No,
he likes the IHOP.
Yeah.
No, they go
It's
at all hours.
international.
Pancakes.
Pancakes.
The house of pancakes.
The International House of Pancakes.
Yeah.
It's the Japanese embassy. But so the fans know that Funaki and Itami are buds, and they're like they're together as it's weird to say they're together as an item, which they are, and words
a business item.
A business item. Look, cookies. But so this was kind of their way of acknowledging that, letting everybody know, and giving them that moment. But I agree with Hobo. They need somebody that can do something. And after this beatdown, he'll probably won't show up, and now he'll probably be fighting for his honor. And actually, speaking of Itami, he did an interview recently where he revealed the meaning of his name.
Didn't he do that in the ring?
Well,
no. He said what his name was, and that it was in homage to a particular individual.
Yeah, so he used different parts of different folks of his to bring a name together, which in Japanese, Hideo Itami, or Itami Hideo, means hero of pain. Take that how you will.
It's pretty epic. Gotta say.
Toshiwa Itami Hideo desu.
Cool.
Pretty badass. Mm-hmm. But see, that's what I'm talking about. Now Hideo's been beat down.
He's gonna bring the pain.
One of the best guys in all of Japan needs somebody else to fight alongside him. It's tough. It's tough booking. That's just me, though.
That's probably not just you.
No, whatever. Well, I don't want to, pee in anybody's cereal, so to speak.
Ew.
That's the thing.
Well,
I don't want you to either.
That's an expression.
Right.
Is it?
But
No,
I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and that's just mine. That's it. There's nothing I'm all be all.
Eat it, internet. That's his.
That's mine.
Don't eat it.
Eat the
if
cereal.
you peed
Eat
in
the
it.
cereal.
Eat the cereal.
It's sterile.
Ugh. Eat the cookies.
After all this coffee I've been drinking, it probably is going to taste a little bit like coffee.
So
During the break, we see them take Funaki to get medical attention. And then we get a match between the Vaudevillains and Enzo and Cass.
how you doing?
I do.
How you doing?
I do.
Enzo tells the Vaudevillains to go back to the future and a lot of other
Which
stuff.
doesn't make any sense.
No, because they're from the
Because
past.
prohibition's over, man.
This was the first one of these where I was like, I don't know if it came full circle for
Well,
me.
it made
It was
sense.
great. I was
The
enthralled in
the
everything
reference
that he
came
said.
full circle.
Yeah.
But it didn't make sense
His
because
mic
they're
was a
from the
lightsaber, and then
past. The Hey
I
Arnold bit
loved
stuck.
all of the
No,
references. I
100%
loved them.
great.
I loved them.
The Hey Arnold one stuck though, because everybody went, yeah! Like everybody in that crowd was like, that was awesome. And you can't really make a stoop kid if people start chanting the stoop kid thing at the Vaudevillains. I don't know.
I don't think they would.
No.
I
They're
don't think
too
so.
gentlemanly.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're not kids. This guy's got epic facial hair.
that's not manly.
That's not manly.
Kid.
That's right.
Stoop kid.
Stoop
Stoop kid.
Stoop kid's afraid of the stoop.
So
No, we got Scott Narver in chat
Football
again.
head.
Hi, Scott.
Hi, Scott.
To which he says, pee in my cereal. So,
Kinky.
Hobo's going to be making an appearance on Main Event next week.
That does cost extra, though.
Yeah.
Just want you to know that.
So, this match, let's get back to that.
Can we please?
The Vaudevillains end up getting the win with That's a Wrap. Did you expect that?
I actually thought something completely different was happening. When we were watching the show, I was like, I'm going to call the end. I'm going to say that the Frenchies come out, distract, and then they hit the That's a Wrap, and that'll be that.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was clean.
Yeah.
Super surprised.
Yeah.
I'm happier with that as a finish, definitely. Because I think the Vaudevillains need to look strong.
Yeah.
So far, they've looked like a comedy act. Well, that's not exactly what they are. That is kind of what they are. But at the same time, if you're a comedy act, you can't be taken
Yeah.
seriously as a
I
competitor.
mean, Enzo also might have some girl problems on his mind where
That's
he's a
true.
little bit distracted.
How you doing?
But it doesn't take anything away from Cass and Enzo.
No.
Everybody loves them. Their stuff is super solid. Nobody can do what they're doing right now. And A little lost man, a little bump in the road. So what? Forget about it.
Little Lost Man, is that Big Boss Man's little brother?
Yes, little lost man.
I'm sorry.
That was great.
Okay.
So, do we want to... What?
It was, the match was really interesting. Anytime that Zoe and Cass are in a match together, it seems like Enzo takes the brunt of everything. Cass makes the save, and either Enzo gets...
What was the move where Cass flipped Enzo?
It was a vertical suplex, or it was like a.
But then
flapjack.
Enzo got hurt from it.
Yeah, because he fell from too high. Because
Yeah.
Cass is too damn tall.
Right. Yeah, you take a fall from 7 feet onto another guy, you're still gonna get a little hurt.
Fall
Yeah,
on man?
bottom, though.
Fall on man.
Fall on man.
Not fall on boy. Fall on man.
Well, I was fall of man.
Fall on man.
Fall
Or
off.
follow boy.
Fall off man.
Falafel man.
Falafel man's afraid to leave a stoop. Bringing it around.
There you go.
Full circle. We made that promo work.
What did you put in these cookies, Kathy Kelly?
Pumpkin.
Oh, that's
Thank God you only had half of one. See how you feel first.
Seeing out of my third eye like I was CJ Parker.
Bang!
Oh. And now I'm blind. Video podcast.
That's the YouTube. Go to the YouTube.
Sami Zayn does a promo.
This is really weird. This is really bizarre. Just like, how you doing? I'm feeling pretty good.
This is basically the same thing we see every time Sami Zayn cuts promo.
Yeah.
So Sami, what do you think? Why are you asking me?
He's like, I'm still friends with Neville. That's what we got out of this. And
So, we're still totally friends.
we're still
and
friends. Not that mad anymore.
Titus, he's fighting a rabbit.
And he says that he needed to defend NXT from Titus.
Yeah, which makes sense.
And Titus didn't need to get involved last week.
But also, this adds a little extra cinnamon to the hot cocoa. That is the
Little nutmeg
relationship-
to the cookies.
Tis the season.
Little nutmeg. Because Neville, as the champion, keeps expressing himself as the face of NXT. But here comes Sami Zayn in a promo saying, well, I have to represent NXT for the good of NXT. So now you've got two people going, well, just because you have the belt doesn't mean you're the face, which is a funny way to put that. But so I think that adds a little bit of subtext to it as well that you don't really think about until you go, oh, he is saying that, sort of a thing.
It's like the good guy versions of the BFFs.
Kind of, but forget friendship, you know?
Friendship.
Yeah, I think it's for letting stuff go that shouldn't be let go.
They need to talk it out.
Neville's
Or fight it out.
Fight it out. That's exactly what they need to do. If
That's what
Neville
guys do.
screwed me out of a title, I'd be on that man like white on rice. I wouldn't be saving him. Or if I did save him, there'd be other reasons to save him. Like getting him under your thumb. Saving Adrian Neville was a great way for Sami Zayn to get it. Why are you laughing?
You want to be on Neville?
That's an expression.
And we're back to Hey Arnold. Cheering jokes.
Monkey Man.
That was the thing. During Ruby, somebody said, oh, it's the Monkey Man. And I went, somebody watched Hey Arnold. But nobody would have. Anyway.
But that's the whole reason that Zayn should have saved Neville, to show him that without me, you wouldn't have that championship.
Yeah.
You got to get him where you want him. Screw friends, man. Especially in that situation.
AfterBuzz exclusive Hobo versus Neville title for title.
I'm down.
Yeah, you want to go? We'll book it. I'll book it.
Let's
I'll find a
book it.
place. Let's book it
You
here.
book
Let's
it.
have the match here.
He can kick me in the face.
Mark Regal.
That's
Mark
me.
Regal.
I'm British. Perfect impersonation. Thank you. I take bookings. Email me at hobo.
At Hobo.
At hobo.com.
Hoboman3@hotmail.com.
And I wasn't going to say it, but he did.
I don't care.
All right.
Fuck me.
Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. These transitions are going great tonight,
We're
by the
magic.
way.
It's the cookies. I wish y'all could have some. But you can't.
Could. If you were here. I forgot about Becky Lynch for like a minute. And then
That
she
was a
came
really
out
long
tonight.
minute.
A minute, like a hot minute. And
Okay.
then she came out tonight and she was very aggressive and looked great. So I remembered her.
Don't forget. She is a pun queen on Twitter.
Really?
She
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta follow her.
Like her and I would be friends.
Yep. Follow her on Twitter.
I should.
You might become besties. If he could be besties with Bull Dempsey, and that's Bull Dempsey. Hey, the man's a wrecking ball.
If I
Are you
got
guys
a
at
friend
replying
like
back and
him,
forth?
Huh? What?
Are you guys at replying back and forth?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. He's cool, man. I want friends like that to beat up the friends I don't like.
Who needs friends when you have Bull Dempsey?
That's right. I got a monster.
Close enough.
Like a bear cat.
Like a bull.
That's two on the nose. That's two on the nose.
Your moment of realization. I hope that made the cut where she's like a bull. Yeah, like a bull. Yeah. Yeah, like a bull. Because his name is Bull. How could you forget Becky Lynch?
It was a
I honestly don't
lapse
blame
in
her. Even I was
judgment.
going,
I don't know.
oh yeah, Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
Right.
she's been gone for weeks.
Maybe it's just because I'm the only one that follows her on Twitter here.
Possibly, yeah.
I
don't
like
follow
her.
all
I
the
think
other
she's great, and she showed that tonight in
Yes.
her match against Sasha Banks, which we're going to talk about right now.
Right now?
Right
now.
now. Holy crap.
This is working out really well.
You said we were going to talk about it, then you were quiet.
Okay.
I was prepping.
Well,
I'm going to hit this table.
Don't. Please don't.
Sasha ends up doing the backbreaker into the
Bank statement.
bank statement.
Bank statement.
Gets
When the
the
hell did
win.
that change?
But
Today.
this match was really fast paced. I mean, Becky was just
Explosive.
on fire.
Super strong. Jeez Louise. Super strong.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Damn good. I thought Becky Lynch was going to pull it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Solid women's match.
oh, hell
Always,
Yeah.
always. It's hard to find a bad one. Even when we have like notes, it still ultimately tells the story and gets the job done in ways that most Divas matches unfortunately can't. And that's not necessarily any fault of theirs as much as it might be
Yeah.
producers.
I don't, yeah, it's you can blame somebody or everybody for matches that go bad. All we can truly say is the matches here are truly above the bar.
Yeah.
I
I mean, I say this on our Raw after show pretty much every week, but every girl down at NXT, I feel like could easily transition to the main roster, and
It's not that easy, unfortunately.
I think they're all ready.
It's because of the established female wrestlers that are on the main roster. In order to make them not look bad, the women down at NXT gotta water it down a bit. It's all about making everything work.
Like we saw that with
Hard.
Emma.
So
Like
them-
her work.
I don't think that was because of.
Well, you saw it with Emma, you saw it with Paige.
Paige a little bit.
Paige and AJ together are having matches that are good, but still not NXT quality matches, which means they still have to work down to a level that is somewhat on par with that which has already been established for the main roster.
And Triple H, there's an interview that came out recently where somebody just asked him point blank, what do you think about the fans that say that NXT is a better product than the main shows? And he answered, I run. It's different writing an hour worth of television as opposed to 3 hours of television
Yeah.
a week. And the show that you have to put on and make as consistent within those 3 hours, let alone weekly, is a completely different type of show that has to have completely different types of beats.
And-
And it is that travels as opposed to NXT being in one place.
Also, for NXT, since the tapings are not as often, you have more time to consider what you might do in a match.
Yeah, you have a little in terms of you can shop the match around, like back in the day where before you had a big show, you would test out a match in the local regions before, or a couple of spots to see what might work, what might play here or there. You have a chance to show that at the TV taping as opposed to all of the local Florida shows that they do.
True. I mean, they're kind of working the regional type circuit over in the Florida area and surrounding areas. So I mean, it is very difficult to compare Raw and NXT. It's almost impossible.
Yeah. Well, do we think that Sasha Banks next in line for the women's title, or at least a title shot?
She's been in line for a long time.
But do we think it's actually going to happen this time?
Officially, yeah, she's
think so.
been killing everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and now that Bailey used her quote unquote used her last rematch, so to speak, and has to get into the back of the line, that pushes Sasha up to the front. They're really, Sasha and Bayley are really the two other most consistent near the top female wrestlers. Like, we have Becky and we have Alexa, and soon Carmella, but I mean, they're still relatively new on TV. Like, they've been wrestling at live shows for a really long time, but Sasha is the one where her reactions are getting stronger and stronger, whether they're positive or negative, because the Sasha's Ratchet's chants are getting much quieter than the no she's not. So
she's splitting audiences, but there's a reaction. And
there is a reaction.
Counts.
if you put both of those reactions together, that's a big reaction.
They also have this thing where they talked about it on commentary tonight, that Sasha feels used because she taught Charlotte everything Charlotte knows.
So that may be coming from a real place too. That's almost like real heat. That's pretty good. I like that.
It feels like it, because you can observe, you can watch how Charlotte went over to the BFFs and then was gone, and then came back and took over and won the championship and left Sasha in the dust. Like, that's, while that was, I mean, a lot of that is a part of the story. They made that super apparent, and you just go.
And as a fan, you remember that.
Yeah, you remember that. And you're also like, Sasha was there the whole time. Why doesn't she get the title shot?
Yeah.
Why did Charlotte get it first? What the hell?
Yeah, just because she's a Flair.
Well, yeah. Hey, man, breeding's got a lot to do with championship runs and all of that.
But that, like, I mean, again, all of the divas always put on such a consistent, good show, and Sasha Banks always, whether she wins or loses, is always super awesome on the mic, super awesome on Twitter. Like, her being the boss on Twitter, like, again, like, social networking has helped.
There.
Yeah, she's got it all, and to see her character not only go up to the point of being a champion, but at the when she's ready, which is any day, to be up on that main roster, going back to what we were talking about before, she's that larger than life person that deserves what she has coming to her, just because we've seen her not get the opportunity and lose so often as of late. So,
well, I mean, like you said, get what's coming to her, which is what creates the schism. A whole lot of people are going to go, no, she's doing nothing but bad things and stab people in the back, and she's an awful human being, and I can't wait for Charlotte or anybody to kick this woman in the teeth. But then you have people like yourself who have seen her consistently perform and perform well and just be everything that is great about this NXT women's division, and go, this woman deserves a title shot at least.
I want her to get the title shot. I don't know that I want Charlotte to lose her title yet, though.
she won't.
Yeah.
I don't think she will. I don't think it will be the end of it.
Statement. Not even like playing with that.
Don't even think about
it.
What they're trying to build for Charlotte is too strong for anybody to try. They're going off of the genetics. They're playing the Flair card way too strong, and unless it's in a dirty way where Sasha loses the belt almost immediately, like if Sasha won and then lost to Bayley, and then that made Bayley and Charlotte and Sasha as a different dynamic. It's all about playing with the three-person dynamic, because that's what they have.
That's what they have.
Yeah.
So we only have a few minutes left. I want to talk about the main event.
The main beating.
Sami Zayn
was
versus
great.
Titus O'Neil. I love that my phone auto-corrected it to Titus on Seal, and I just noticed that.
I compare you to a kiss from a dog.
So Titus ends up getting the win with a power bomb.
That was not a power
What was
bomb.
it? Okay.
It was a sky high. God, it made
It's
me
not.
crazy.
It's not the same thing.
Okay.
The where you have the. But anyway.
Anyways, Sami Zayn was going for a something, and Titus
He's
got
going
a
for
something.
going
his
for
tilt
his
the world
DDT.
DDT off the ropes.
I know nothing. Like the Jon Snow
See that?
wrestling.
You know nothing,
I know
Kelly.
nothing.
All I really know
Titus
is how to
gets
take
the
a
win.
beating. Sometimes I name it after.
Titus gets a win, and after the match, this is what was interesting. Neville comes out and helps
Undersold the whole
Sami.
match thing.
Oh, we'll talk about the match. So Neville comes out, helps Sami as Titus is about to demolish him again.
I think that's a sort of a sign of, all right, I tied you back. Now I don't owe you anything.
Oh.
Just like like he said, having Neville under his thumb is like, all right, now we're even again. Mm-hmm. You help me, I'll help you.
Yep.
And that's really it. Just sort of a base thing. He's like, all right. I mean, thanks for helping me, but it says I got you. Like, I think he'll try to play it off, but it'll still be just a very, very like, all right, we're good.
Even though are those even? Like,
he'll say so. Yeah. He'll say so, but everybody will be like, no.
Yeah.
I wonder what Zayn's rebuttal is going to be for being saved by Neville.
This match, though.
True. But he saved. Titus was about to remove his head from his shoulders.
Well, let's talk about the match.
All right, let's go
highlights.
Back.
All of it. This.
Yeah.
Like
hard hitting.
Very much like when Sami did his promo about Titus still kind of being this tough guy, and then we saw him on the Susan Komen commercial talking about his grandmother. Like, that's like, all right, completely invalidate what you're trying to do with this man. Like, we talk about how he's such a nice guy, but then it's matches like this where you go, that's why he's the bad guy.
Right. He wrestles like a son of a bitch. I mean, just like, he doesn't care. He just wants to hurt somebody, and when he gets hurt, he gets pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the first couple of just straight front chops where he was like, nuh-uh, boy.
You son of a... Goes after him and just starts hitting him harder.
Mm-hmm. The ragdoll bear hugs. Oh, I'm sorry. The bear hold, according to Rich Brennan. You were doing so well.
Richard.
Love ya.
We love you, Rich.
Bear, it was just, he was throwing him around, and Sami was just doing everything just to be like...
Ragdoll.
Just like a pit bull with a small terrier, just shaking it around until it's dead.
Yeah. It was
brutal.
Intense. This was brutal. This is one of those things where you can go, oh, that's why everybody loves Titus O'Neil.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish
Titus on Seal.
Titus on Seal. I wish he could be more of that bad guy though. Just I don't want him. I don't want him to stop being a nice guy, but I just want him to be what he is in the ring, outside of the ring.
Yeah, it's too polarizing.
You can't be that nice when you just kick people that hard.
Or could he be a nice guy that has this tick that just like sets him off?
Well
then
we did that. We had that. It was called Festus.
Right, kind of.
Yeah.
He was on drugs. Arguably.
That's right. He was on drugs. I forgot. Characters.
But it's the polarization makes it hard to believe. You always want to suspend your disbelief, but then you're stuck in this place where you're going, Titus O'Neil is such a nice guy, and he will kill you if he has the chance.
But going off of your thing though, there is probably that way. We saw the quick turn after that. Like, he was just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna beat this kid up. But then once he started like really that gross loud chop, that's when he was like, oh, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
So having that, you can twist that. You can make that a face thing and have people get behind it. It all just depends on how he does it.
Yeah.
Because if you want, you can see that it's kind of like with Mark Henry too, how he powers through people, but it's just like, oh dude, did you see that sort of a thing? But this one was just like, stop, because it's Sami, because Sami is so endearing and can take such a beating. Jeez.
It's a lot of people are going to say that this match was boring for one reason or another. Probably because Titus O'Neil's moveset is fairly limited. Like, he did 3 of the same type of slams in a row. But when a slam is that good and that devastating, just keep doing it. Because it's going to make your opponent look better when he gets up. By the 3rd slam, Sami couldn't even get his shoulder up. He had to just kind of rock his body to get his shoulders off the mat. He lacked all power. Titus O'Neil made Sami Zayn look like a tough kid, but Titus O'Neil was the man in this match.
Yeah, he owned the ring, and rightfully so. And everybody at NXT should feel good that they could see him in action, like he made the claim a couple of weeks ago.
No, I haven't seen Titus O'Neil in a singles match in a long time.
A good singles match, as opposed to
a singles match with length to it. And this had length, and it made you really appreciate what Titus O'Neil can do when he's given the opportunity.
I really like how every month or so we're getting a new guy from the main roster coming down. Like we had Cesaro come down for several tapings. Now we have Titus come down. Obviously
we had Brodus.
Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel are both down there pretty consistently.
For a while,
but yeah, it's cool to see that crossover between the main roster and actually getting to see guys that might not get matches every single week on Raw or SmackDown.
Seth
down at
Rollins
NXT.
is going to be the next guy.
Seth Rollins is going to be down here for a month.
Which is crazy
Yeah.
because he was the first NXT champion.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to have him down there with the briefcase and the sellout character. And it'll be interesting to see if the crowd lets him be that sellout character.
Do you think that they are going to bring the briefcase down with him? Because what if he then, cashes in the middle of the tapings? It might be kind of weird.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Oh, I mean, they wouldn't plan against
if
that.
they tape 4 in a row and
then after week
he has
3,
the briefcase all 4, and then, yeah.
Right.
Unless they really time that out perfectly. Or they just know that he's going to keep the briefcase for.
Probably the latter.
I think probably they wouldn't mess with that unless some very large changes were occurring up on Raw. Or,
what if we see the last 2 tapings of NXT and there's just a blurred he's like
It's this kind of thing.
there's a blur.
Well, also, in order for him to cash in the briefcase, the champion would have to be around.
Oh,
so
true.
there's that.
Unless you wanted to cash it in on a different
but what if he lost the briefcase? Wouldn't be the first time that happened.
Yeah, what if it gets
lost
thrown
in
into
the
a river?
match?
Or whatever it was last year.
Or lost by American Airlines.
That too.
You carry it
That was
on. You
United.
don't check it ever.
Did you hear about Dolph?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Poor gentleman. But I mean, I agree. There is any sort of group that we see or person that we see on Superstars or Main Event most of the time who doesn't usually get the time of day to come down. Even seeing Adam Rose come back and be in the tag team with Sami Zayn, that we still saw an additional side of him that we hadn't seen from NXT before. Yeah. Any sort of involvement from the main roster, whether they were a part of NXT previously or not. Even when Becky came back to do the Vaudevillains match, that was awesome. Everybody was doing the 5 count for him. He didn't do the 5 count thing, but
that's fine.
That's 5. We've got another awesome month of NXT.
Should be good.
Hopefully.
Guaranteedly.
We know.
Even when an episode of NXT
the
isn't
most consistent show of all of WWE shows.
Even when an NXT show is still kind of still a better show usually than some of the other stuff. But that's a discussion for a different
That's why we keep watching.
That's why they keep watching NXT.
We're here.
And please keep watching us. We'll be back next week. But in the meantime, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter @SoapboxMark. You can also find that's an awesome inflection.
At replying to Bull Dempsey.
Yeah, just trying to Twitter. No, it's Tyler Breeze. That's the man that I'm trying to hook up with.
What?
What?
You want to be on him?
Hey, if Funaki and Itami can be an item, you can find me on Soapbox Mark on Twitter. You can find Hobo and I doing the Epic Meal Empire AfterBuzz next Thursday. We're going to be doing it before NXT, so keep an eye out for that. You can also find us on YouTube @SoapboxCarTV. You might notice that the Pixel Pro Wrestling Championship isn't here. We lost to a guy named Wrestling Fred. If you want to know who that is, go on our channel and listen to us just snarl through our teeth.
He made us play Tetris. Us play Tetris because he was the only one playing. Garbage. @TrueHobo on Twitter. Follow me, tweet me. I'm always available. I don't sleep much. ProWrestlingTees.com. We have a t-shirt. The holidays are coming up, and I need beer because it's the holidays.
Beer days.
What else? I'm probably defending this beautiful lady Sunday in Portland, Amy Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. HollywoodWrestling.com.
Oh, yeah. What about you, Kathy Kelly?
You can find me on Twitter @Catherine Kelly. You can find me on Instagram @Kathy Kelly. You can find all of us here on Twitter and Instagram @AfterBuzzTV. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Leave us comments because we love hearing what you have to say about our show and our opinions, and we love your opinions. So do that on YouTube. Rate us on iTunes, and we will see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.